Hello, welcome back to the channel, guys. Got another review for you. Episode 2 of Paramount Plus's Halo TV series. Sorry I've been absent the last couple days. Had food poisoning, had to deal with that, had to get over that, but I'm here making this review for you guys now. Let's go ahead and get into it. We start off with a flashback on Planet Reach, where we have been introduced to John, once again, Spartan 117, awakening from a sleep in the middle of the night to find one of his comrades, Spartan 066, also known as Soren, to be missing. John grabs what appears to be a bare bones version of the BR-75 rifle, the standard issued rifle to most Marines and Spartans during the war. He then makes his way outside of the camp without anybody noticing and finds his comrade on the outside of the gate. And his comrade questions him on where his armor is and where his ditch bag, as they call it, is at. John has made the decision that he does not want to escape the Spartan 2 program and go live a free life. He wants to continue to serve the UNSC, and Soren cannot believe it, and he is reluctant to try and let John go back. And he pushes very hard for John to escape with him, which in turn John pushes back hard against him leaving. Reluctantly, at the end, John decides to give his man 5 minutes to be able to escape before he alerts the rest of the base. And as we all hardcore fans know, in regular canon, this does not go very well for Soren at all. Just to give a little context before we move on to the next couple scenes throughout the episode, to those of you that do not know the lore of the Spartan 2 program, Spartan 2's, the Master Chief style Spartans, were kidnapped as children. They were placed in multiple different trials of drugs, augmentation, and many of them did not survive. And a lot of them got deformations, as you can see on Soren's arm. And they were petrified, terrified, paranoid, just they lost their minds, like just went completely, most of them went completely insane trying to deal with the amount of drugs and things that were being pumped to their body, and they just wanted to escape all the time because they just didn't know what to do. They didn't want to be experimented on anymore. They didn't want to be used as war machines, killing machines, whatever you want to call it. They just wanted to escape. So seeing this be brought into the show gives me a little bit of hope. Nice to know that they are pulling a little bit from Spartan lore and normal canon, at least. Once that's over, we cut to a scene with Quan and the Master Chief, showing Quan's awe of slip space travel. Clearly, she has never been in slip space and has never seen what it looks like. She's very amazed and awe, and Master Chief tries to give her technical terms to explain it, in which she returns to tell him to shut up. He's going to ruin the moment. After that, we cut to a scene with one of my favorite all-time original trilogy Halo characters, Fleet Admiral Terrence Hood. Now, like I said in the last episode, how I believe that Paramount should have just threw the bag at Steve Downes to get the voice for Master Chief. They should have threw the bag at Ron Perlman to come back and play this character in live action, because my goodness, he could have done it, and it would have just been absolutely amazing. Ron Perlman brought that character to life. The voice, everything, just, it would have been great. This actor isn't bad. However, I would have just preferred if it had it been Ron Perlman. We have a conversation with Fleet Admiral Hood and Dr. Catherine Halsey about the Master Chief and about why he escaped and about if she has a plan to bring him back in. As in normal canon, Admiral Hood is 100% pro-Spartans. He wants the Spartans because he knows the Spartans are the only capability, only way that humanity has of defeating the Covenant. So, with that, he gives her a short little brief conversation explaining to her that if she has a plan, she needs to let everybody else in on it. Another short little filler scene with the Spartan Silver team discussing locating the Master Chief and seeing where he's at and what they need to do about it and what they are going to do when they locate him. We come back to the Master Chief with Quan heading through space out into the asteroid field, have to dodge a few asteroids before they end up on an asteroid colony, in which the Master Chief in full armor, full Spartan armor, is not welcomed in this outer planet because it is preoccupied by either insurrectionists or people that wanted to escape the UNSC. To the Master Chief's luck and credit, he has located Spartan Soren, to which he is welcoming to him and puts the rest of the people's minds at ease. They have a little chat, catch up, they go to the tram, they make their way to Spartan Soren's home, to which Spartan Soren introduces the Master Chief to his family, to which the Chief is surprised that the Spartan has a family, because Spartans were never taught to feel or things of that nature. Their totally minds have been just, they're killing machines. So, sticking to the true canon of that. Now we have a quick scene with the elite that we had seen escaped from episode 1, with who they call the Blessed One and the Three Prophets. Now, I just want to comment on this, not too much about the scene and what's going on, more or less the formation of the prophets. Just to me, personally, I'm wondering what exactly made the writers of the show place Mercy in the middle. At least that's what I'm getting from the camera angles and how they, and the talking, how they placed. Because I assume this is regret and truth on the opposite sides of him. And I wonder what made them decide to put Mercy in the middle, because he's the oldest. Because in canon, we all know that Truth is the leader. Truth is #1 prophet. So I don't know exactly what made them decide to put Mercy there. I'm assuming it had something to do with the age of what Mercy was, considering he looked the oldest. I'm sure they looked at images and, you know, without reading the books or playing any of the games, they decided, oh, Mercy's the oldest. He's probably the one who's in charge. I just thought that was interesting in that scene. What they basically talk about is kind of, you know, Master Chief being able to activate the object, kind of like the quote-unquote blessed one of the Covenant is able to do for them. Once we get past that, we're into a meeting with FleetCom, all high-ranking members of the UNSC that are on planet Reach. Captain Keyes is discussing Governor Ventrol, the man who is the insurrectionist working for the UNSC, the one that has actually placed a bounty on Quan's head, because remember, he absolutely despises that family and what they stand for. And he's trying to get all the insurrectionists on board with the UNSC to fight the Covenant, which I agree with, but the methods in which he's going around doing it, a little extreme. And even Captain Keyes states that in this meeting. The council then begins to question Captain Keyes on the whereabouts of John 117, where he's at, what's going to happen with him, is he going to be punished? Captain Keyes assures everybody he will be captured and he will receive appropriate punishment, to which Admiral Hood jumps in and says, I don't think that's necessary because he is the actual key to the war effort to us surviving. We just need to bring him in, get him recalibrated, things of that nature. Dr. Halsey then begins to talk about the Cortana program. She believes will help control the Master Chief and all the other Spartans a little bit easier in maintaining their sanity and continuing to have them be in the service of the UNSC in which the way they were created. Now, moving forward a little bit more, we go into another scene where Quan is watching that general take down all of her people, all of her father's loyal followers that are still left alive on the planet of Madriel, and to which she obviously is gaining a lot more animosity, hate, and anger towards this man. Which, I mean, this guy's going absolutely nuts doing what he's doing. Crazy. Master Chief and Soren have a conversation. He also has a conversation with his wife about things that are going on and what, you know, being a Spartan was, what the UNSC wanted to be, what Soren wanted to be. Master Chief still sticking to his rifle program, as you would call it, staying loyal to the UNSC, to which then he introduces Soren to the object. Soren tells him, oh, hey, I've got a guy I think that can handle it because he's been inside a Covenant ship, and he's one of the only people I know that's been inside a Covenant ship and came back out alive. The guy's name is Wreath. Interesting enough, maybe we're going to finally start moving along in this episode, because it's up to this point I was kind of bored, really in awe of only one thing, and I'll get to that at the end of this review. We get to the scene with Wreath. Master Chief explaining to him a little bit about the object. Wreath touches the object, has a little paranoid moment. Then the Master Chief touches the object. He gets more detailed flashbacks upon what is going on, about some of the flashbacks and images he was seeing before in episode 2. He starts to question even more now, and when he does, he grabs the object. He decides he needs to leave, head back to Dr. Halsey, to which Soren kind of pokes fun at him, saying that he's always running back to Mommy, that Mommy really doesn't care. John then says, because of the bounty that the general of the insurrectionists has put on Quan, he begs, basically, Soren to keep Quan safe while he heads back to UNSC to figure this all out, to get an understanding. Comes back, he's placed into custody by Spartan Silver Team. He's brought into custody, brought into prison. Dr. Halsey comes in, has a chat with him to help him understand what's going on. He questions her on the images and everything he's seeing. Talks about the feelings that he's starting to feel, that he's never felt things before. He begins to question it, but Dr. Halsey, as per usual, tries to shut it down to keep her Spartans in line and focused on what they need to be focused on. And we get to a scene with the Chosen One at the very end here, to where she is transforming back into, I guess, what you would call quote-unquote human mode, so she can be disguised and be able to move amongst the humans to be able to retrieve the object easier. Then at the very, very end of this episode, we get the awakening of Cortana as a human, what it appears, which is still very weird to me. Cortana's supposed to be an AI machine. I think they took the tone, or I'm sorry, not the tone, but the excerpt of her being a clone of Dr. Halsey literally to the T. Literal clone, which she's just a clone of her mind. But anyways, not going to get into all that. Different timeline. So overall, I just want to say I'm kind of disappointed because we're only in episode 2, and this really felt like a filler episode. like already, like no, like not really any action. Like this was really just a filler episode, and we're only in episode 2. I know a show is going to have filler episodes, but I expect when a show first starts out that the first 3 to 4 episodes have got to be action packed. You got to be keeping people interested, and by the time you get to episode 5, maybe then you can slow it down just a little bit, or at the very earliest, maybe episode 4, possibly 3, depending on what you do in 1 and 2. But the first 2 episodes, without a doubt in my mind, have got to be action packed. Not necessarily the biggest fan of having a filler type episode. However, the one thing I will commend, and I don't know if I was harping on it last episode or not, I can't remember, but I got to give credit to whoever's doing the CGI. They're doing absolutely amazing work. The slip space scene, the Sang Healy and the Prophet, seeing Planet Reach shots from above, the cruiser that the Spartan Black team is on, the the asteroid colony before they land, before Quan and John land on it, Spartan 117 land on it. Just dude, like, this CGI, it's amazing. I can't deny that. I can see where they're spending the money on this show. So overall, I know I didn't give the rating to the last episode, but I'm gonna give a rating to this one. I'm gonna give it about I'm gonna say a 4.5 out of 10, and the 4.5 is mainly because of the CGI and the way things look. Absolutely amazing, and that's pretty much what kept me locked in this entire episode. I really wasn't too invested in the story of this episode too much. Like I said, filler and just kind of like not necessarily the biggest fan of it, but it's all right. Hopefully like I said, I'll give at least every TV show up to episode 4. Hopefully maybe episodes 3 and 4, they kick off and they are great. And they're action-packed. And man, I'm really rooting for it. As much as I don't like the fact that they're not, the show isn't canon, they're not adding anything to it, and they're just kind of doing whatever they want with these characters without having any backstory to them. Or any of the real backstory knowledge from reading any of the books or anything. But I'm just rooting for the show. I'm hoping it does well. That way we get more video game adaptations onto live-action entertainment. So. Alright guys, appreciate you checking out the video. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let's chat about it. I try to reply to just about every comment in the chat that it's put down there. Everybody have a wonderful day. See you guys later.